and want to get that out because this is for the newsletter that comes out in just about 3 weeks.
Yep.
The formal first edition of the newsletter hits the stands on January 6th.
January 3rd.
January 3rd, pardon me. And for those of y'all say on the stands, yes, on the stands, because our newsletter, unlike any other newsletter dealing with clubs and organizations and functions and all that, ours is open to the entire world because we're worldwide woodturners. So if you see the newsletter and you make a copy of it or you get it from us, you feel free to share that newsletter with everybody and their brother. It is just that's what we're here for. And I'm so proud. Joaquin is doing a great job putting this thing together, but his staff is lacking. You know what that staff is? That's right there. Yeah, you people. Some of y'all doing really good, but I think we talked about this in the past. Putting photographs on Facebook is not submitting photographs to the newsletter in the quality that we need them. Really, we want to show you your work in the best quality we can. So when you take photographs of your work, and I've always believed that you should take more than one image of your work. I mean, you can see something and it looks good here. Does it look good here? Does it look better over here? Like this. Take more than one image of your work, and then send all those images to our editor, and he'll look at them and say, "Okay, I'm going to use this one, and this one." Especially some of these pieces that have multi-axis or some depth of perception. You need to get the right the perception and see it and draw from it, or to size it or whatever. So send those images all to editor@worldwidewoodturners.org. How simple can you get? And then we can use it. But just like I was going on with this with a guy from Abash, Oklahoma, the other day about setting up a tenon on his chuck. He went to a woodcraft store or one of those type of stores, big box, big novelty store type things that we all like, the tool stores. And one of the guys there misled him on the dovetail of the tenon. His was backwards, or he understood it to be backwards. And I went right to the website. We were talking on the phone. I went right to the website. And right there on the front page of the website was an article by Dane about tenons and receivers. And then we found a couple other articles that people had sent in and images folks had sent in on our website that explained it to him. And then he says, it was like slapping his head. He says, "Oh, now I know what you mean, grabbing the dovetail instead of sliding on it." He said, "I thought it was easy to get off." No, it's the other way around. And that's why we share things. And we're looking for more. So, if you got a secret, or you believe in a secret or a tip or a trick or an idea, and you can sketch it out or take a photograph of it and send it in, same thing holds. It's going to go to the newsletter and it's going to go to the website. And then you got it right there. You got it on the world's two greatest sources of information in wood turning in the entire world, right there between the two of them. Because we do have the world's finest website ever for wood turning. I mean, it's jam-packed. I enjoy sitting there. I sat this morning in clinic. It was cruising through with my iPad, cruising through things that Dave Rhodes had put on there, and some new videos and chips and stuff like that. And I'm going through one. I said, "Wow, how to turn such and such." It was one of mine. I forgot I did a video on that. I'm flipping through it. I said, "Oh, look at the opener. Look at it. Oh, get read. Oh, yeah, okay." And wife says, "Aren't you a little vain? I mean, you can't, I said, "No, honey, it's I sat there the whole time we were waiting in clinic for my turn to come up and watching me on the iPad." Yeah. And now I know why she doesn't always plug it in when it's in the car. I keep a pad in the car to take with me to workshops and stuff, and that's where it lives. Just so that we go someplace. I'm not a nut for walk around the phone like I hate it. But I have my wood turning magazine. Hey, Duxbury has got another article in there about a multi-sided piece. Well, Jim, what is that piece? How do you describe that piece that's in there?
Which one? The 12-sided or 8-sided?
Yeah,
This one?
yeah, this month's.
Yeah, that's turned out of a cube.
Turned out of a cube, that's right. I
Yeah.
was looking at that this morning, which is great. And folks, if you don't know it, Duxbury is Jim Duxbury. He lets Rita write him some articles that he submits to Woodturning magazine. She consults with the bird, and they get together and watch what Jim does, and then puts an article out, and it's in that magazine. That magazine comes out every month. It's generated in the UK. I have a subscription through, I think, Amazon, and I pay like $3.27 a month to get my edition. If I bought it in the newsstand when it's available at Barnes and Noble, it's $8.50.
12 and
And
a half now, Captain.
What?
It's 12 and a half now.
12 and a half? God, I'm old. But if that's
I need
good,
to subscribe.
pardon me. Yeah, you need to subscribe because
Yeah.
it's right here. It's here on the iPad, and I carry it with me. And all the back editions are on there. Also, everyone I paid for is on there, and I can just flip through it. There is a secret on how to print out of this. I'm not supposed to give that secret out because it's a copyright infringement. But good articles and good. How do you put this? This is a magazine for woodturners.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
magazine started in 1990 as a quarterly magazine. It only came out 3-4 times a year when it started in 1990.
For a while, it came out 13 times a year or something. A few years
Yeah,
ago.
it
I
comes
think-
out monthly now. I don't know if that's every 28 days or every month, but originally it was a quarterly magazine, and GMC Productions that produced the magazine used to put on some huge wood turning shows in the UK in the early 90s as well.
I don't know where they got 16 issues. I guess that was metric or something.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, no, this is the magazine put out for wood turners.
Yeah.
This is not an artist magazine. It's got some beautiful work in it. It's got some great projects and ideas and techniques. Got some fantastic authors who are people who turn and show you how to turn and how to hold things and how to sharpen tools and do's and don'ts of tools. I like this over other magazines because this is not it's not an art magazine. It is it is a hands-on. Humans can do this every day and can learn from what's in this magazine, in this production. I love it. I really do love it. And they don't sponsor here. It's not a promotion for a sponsorship. We get nothing out of this. But if you want to take a look at it, it's called Woodturning, and you'll enjoy it, folks. You'll enjoy it, and I like it. I like it because whatever device you download it on, it stays there. So I've got back issues for probably 5 years on my pad that I can go.
Every edition has a step by step on how to do something.
That's it, and some great basics. So if you're just getting into this addiction, or you're mastering it, there's going to be information you want in there. And there is. So that's why I applaud them. I go anywhere that we can get honest to goodness information. We can share the wealth of other folks' knowledge. And that's why I go there. And that's why I'm mentioning it, because if it's a source of knowledge, I want you to know about it. I want you to take advantage of it, be part of it. You see, it'd be a pipe dream to say we don't want to compete with them. We just wanted to emulate them. We want to be right there with them, because sharing information is a very, very critical thing. And what I love is it's basic. It gets very basic. People assume too much when they get in some of these realms of the art and things about holding pieces, and then they mix in too many. If you mix in too many variants, you tend to lose wood turners. Sure, it can be some of it's spun on lathe, but then maybe there's too many mixes in it. We end up with a lot of mixes in work here. We see some wonderful mixes, but sometimes you sitting there and you're going, what in the hell are they thinking about? You know,
I don't want to have to carve on it for a month after I've turned on it for 2 weeks.
You got it.
well, sometimes that's relaxing for some folks, and then maybe that's what they can do, but it shouldn't have to make the piece. But give me some options. Let's look at it. So we always talk about embellishment, and some folks. I mean, we miss Bob Moffett. Bob would be back after Bob lost his wife, and he's recovering from that loss. But Bob, we always used to joke about the master of the texturing tool, because Bob could texture anything and play with all the different textures and make you go, oh, how the hell, where'd that come? Why'd this one go over that one and not over this one and such? And that was decoration by tool. But then you get pyro, you have wire burning, you have metal scarring. A lot of folks don't realize just sanding and scraping give you 2 or 3 different textures, how you do it. So what we want to see is a mix. And what that does is allow our brains to kind of plug in and say, I can do that, but I'm really bad at this. But what if isn't that the kind of initiative you want? I'm really bad at this, but what if? I've seen some members show up bowls and platters and plates, and they were kind of plain. And I'm sitting here thinking, if you took a Wagner, the knurling tool, and had run a bead around that platter, that would set that edge off just a little bit, and then burn 2 lines next to, or score 2 lines next to it to offset that beading, knurling. Or if you took a wire, when I do ink pens, I always put 3 wire burns at the top head of the ink pen. One of the guys here I was just talking about, he had a chevrons. I saw his chevrons. He made a chief. He was chief master in the Air Force. I always put 3 lines. I always called them my buck lines. 3 stripes make a buck sergeant, or used to. Yeah, I would always burn in my 3 lines. And my wife said, "What's with the lines? Why don't you do this and this and this?" I said, "Well, I found a hacksaw or sawzall blade that the teeth were spaced just far enough apart. I cut off the teeth and scored those 3 lines uniformly, because I hate them being way out of line, a line out of line. And then I'd use a piece of music wire and burn the lines in. And it got to be a big thing when I was with Bayou Woodturners about burning lines in pieces. One of our members went into a place a hobby shop that burned down in New Orleans, and rooted through the burned out building to get to the piano wire and stuff to bring it back to the club to give it away for burning wires. So everybody got burning wires, go home and put handles on them. Not a lot of folks listened, because next thing we had a lot of taped up fingers, because that we wanted to see the wire burns, but they were holding wire around their fingers. No, that's a no. But just adding little things like a piece of formica, a sample of formica, and you get that from Home Depot. Yeah, a piece of formica or scrap of aluminum downspout or whatever. All those things can be used to kind of decorate your pieces, give you little offsets, little panels. It's like using. I learned how to turn hats with Johannes Mikkelsen, and to set off the band of the hat. Hat I have here has got 2 or 3 different colors of exotics burned into the maple to embellish it. I had these 1/4-inch wide sticks. One was an ebony, and the other I don't remember what it was. But it gave me a black line, and the next one gave me a very dark tan line, and you'd burn it into the hat band to give it a band. And I've got bowls and platters with the same kind of banding done on them to accent them and bring it out. And I've had people. I sold one to an attorney who wanted to hang in his entryway. It was rather large, 20-inch platter. But he said people kept asking him, what did he paint that with? What did he paint that with? Because when it's burnished on, it's not the same maple as the platter. It's another wood's been added on top, and you really can't see how it's added. But it is another piece of wood that's laid over it, burnished into it. So it added a lot of definition and a lot of color to the piece. Don't miss those opportunities. And how do you get them? You practice. You think, can I do this? Get the piece get a scrap of the exact same piece of wood, get it the same density, same moisture, everything, and then find a piece that'll burn onto it. It's got to be a little bit harder, and then you'll play with the speed a little bit, and then you can burnish it right in. And this has been done for years and years and years. It's not a new technique. It's just something you got to play with to get to master it. And you'll find that you can put a lot of artwork on your work with minor changes. Just always keep in mind, too much artwork looks gaudy. At a certain point, you got to reel back or sand off. So keep that in mind when you put it on there. So you've seen it here, where you look at it and say, didn't you know when to hit the bricks? So we're always looking for your stuff and your input. And that's why I like our gallery. Remember, we have the no bud guarantee. We want to see your work, but we can't say, oh, looks really nice, Bob. But you really, we can't do the butt thing. We really can't. Oh, won't. Because I'm not qualified to critique your work. I don't know anybody that is. It's your work. It came out of your mind, your heart, your soul. It's what you felt like you wanted to do, and you did. And all I want to do is see what you came up with. I might want to copy it. I might want to stay away. I might want to stay away from it, but it's going to make my brain juices flow a little bit. And that's why we all gather on Wednesdays to get that little bit of something tweaking. And I know we got some folks out there tweaking it right now tonight.
We do. And speaking of, that's a hell of a segue, right into the inspiration program.
Who's going to inspire me tonight?
Well, we've got our participants from last week that I believe has a project to show off from the inspiration program, where one person is called on within the group here to come up with 2 different elements to be in a turning. And then a second person is called on to accept making that turning. So let's go over to Brenda, the inspiration program mastermind, and see what she's about to highlight for the folks from last week. Brenda.
Hello. So last week we had Gary Hales that gave the inspiration to Tim McCoy. Should I repeat what the program really is, or first, or
Yeah, you can run back. You can reiterate. Absolutely.
all right. So what we're going to do is pick 2 people a week or whenever. One to give a project, one to receive it. And if you will check the message or the chat, I have picked a few people already and asked if they would participate in this or not. So if you would check the chat, see if I've sent you a message and get back with me, that would be great. You want to go to Tim? See if Tim, where's Tim? There he is.
Got him.
Yeah. Tim,
Hi.
last week you were inspired to make something with beads, an insert, and a finial.
And
Did you do that?
I interpreted. Yeah, sure. I did
Yes,
Okay.
you
What you
you
got?
got the interpret. You did it right, Tim.
it. I did it right.
That's what the
Okay.
challenge was.
So I made this. Here, it's got a little.
Wow. look at
That is awesome.
Ooh,
And
Yeah.
so I don't really like beads, so I made a bead and cut it off
gorgeous.
by doing a captive ring.
I thought it was crooked at first. They quit turning on center. Look,
Yeah, that's what I did. I turned it off center like Captain Eddie said.
It is pretty.
Um,
Nice work, Tim. I love that finial.
So thank you.
Gorgeous.
Actually, Steve Twidell kind of inspired me to do this captive ring. He kind of challenged me, actually. He was watching me when I was doing it. And then so for an inserted lid, it's flush to the insert.
Well done.
That was my interpretation of that.
very clean.
That looks really great, man.
And then
Gotta watch that Steve Twidell guy. He's quite the instigator.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a character for sure.
Great job, Tim. So what's the woods?
Oh yeah, so the wood is this is a ambrosia maple that's a bit spotted. They're spotted. The lid is walnut, and the
Okay.
finial is ebony.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Is that
Really
finial
good.
hollow? Is that like a cone or is that flat on the top?
Oh, on the very top.
of the finial. Oh, look at that. Nice. I like that.
Thank you.
Very cool.
That was also a Steve Twidell.
That Steve guy, I'm telling you.
Gotta watch out for him. And so
Very pretty. Very pretty.
Next
Looks
should be
good, man.
making a spinning top that will fit in there, you know.
oh yeah, make a spinning top, but yeah. All right, that's next week. For next week.
Very
Very-
good.
Well
Very
done.
good.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so what I
Okay,
have
so-
done is roll the dice and trying to find some new people that would accept this.
Readers.
I don't want to put you on the spot. So I have sent you a private message to see if you will accept this or not. And if you would get back with me, we'll announce the names later.
Now, you're just going to accept to, number one, be the person to provide
2 elements of the
Suggested.
turn.
the elements.
The first person is being asked to, all they're being asked to do is to provide 2 elements for a tourney. And then the second person that's called on is the one that gets to be inspired and make a project based on those 2 elements. And they can make it as extravagant
Share with us
or
next week.
as minute as they want, because it's all about their inspiration.
No fixed
Yep.
time on getting the project complete.
Nope, whenever you get it done. This is all just geared towards getting the new members comfortable with sharing their work. Okay?
And
Exactly.
being,
That's
being active within the meetings.
Yes. And Tim has done a very good job.
boy, did he?
He
He set the
has.
bar.
Great job.
Okay, back to you then.
All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and start off with some gallery items here. Brenda, seeing as how you're first
Sure.
up.
Yeah, let Brenda follow Tim.
Oh, okay. Well, this week I went out to the garage to make an angel. That didn't happen. But I made, see if I can get them up here. I made ornaments. Little light bulbs.
I've
Very
seen
nice.
those.
Oh,
Well,
very
there
cool.
goes
I saw
one.
those online.
Hey,
Very nice.
Well, I
Great
hope
job,
that one
Brenda.
didn't break. I hope I didn't break. Look,
no
I
drop it
I
again.
hope I didn't
Just the
shine.
hook.
That's nice, Brenda. Look
Yeah.
good.
Very nice.
They are good. They're really pretty. Really
Pretty,
pretty.
pretty
Actually,
colors.
Those look great.
And
Brenda.
then today I went out. Oh my God, this guy's heavy.
Looks like you're copying Ruby's work there.
Okay.
Size of that thing.
He's a little big. His head's a little bigger than his body.
It's like a Matt Harbor snowman.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The wood is real wet, so I haven't painted it yet. I don't know if I'm going to paint it all white, with black hat. And I love the
Oh, you should-
spalting.
Brenda, you could string the lights and put it around his hat.
Yeah.
String light- Oh,
Yeah.
like this?
Yeah. Yeah, hook
Yeah.
it on the brim. That looks good.
Now he looks like he has earrings.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
let's see. Yeah, he's
I
got
know a
earrings.
whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I thought about these. You could even drill a hole through, this part and string them up.
Good.
Yeah.
But I only made 5 of them, so I didn't string them. So anyway,
Very cool.
Oh, we're not supposed to do this, but
But
but give me a
think
butt,
about,
Eddie.
think about
Give me a
making
suggestion.
smaller. Think about making them smaller, a little bit smaller, and putting a hole through them, and make a little necklace for the snowman.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could do that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
I could put it
tie.
in the garland even, couldn't I?
Yeah, that's what I meant. A garland, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
The only thing I'd like to see on them would be some eyes.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's wet, and I wasn't sure. I just finished it just before the meeting, and I thought maybe I'd play with some of the eyes, like on your well, those ones Ruby does, which I
Oh,
got.
okay.
I
My
played with here
characters.
on my tablet, so I might play with that during the meeting.
Sweet.
So
Great job, Brenda.
Yeah. What kind of wood is that, Brenda?
something spalted. I think it's
That
maple.
wood.
FOG
Yeah,
Yeah,
spalted.
it's from a tree that
Maple.
fell over down the street.
just
I think it's
kind.
maple. I don't know.
Looks
like
good.
box elder.
Box elder? I don't know.
No, but you paint it and you're gonna lose all that spalting.
Yeah.
No, I hate that. But I really wanted to make it for my sister-in-law. She does a lot of Christmas decorating, and I thought maybe it'd be something that she could put on her front porch.
Yeah.
Since it's big. It's about as big as I can put on my lathe.
Very cool, Brenda.
Yeah, it was fun. So that's all I got.
All right. Well, that's great. Let's go to Safety Sue for our safety briefing, then we'll get back to gallery.
Hi there.
Hi.
Safety Sue wants to talk about breathing, which is kind of fun to do. And what do you do with your mask when you take it off? You knock the dust off it and put it away, or you just put it on your table or your bench. Remember, dust is still in the air,
Plug it in.
and you really need to put it away in a bag, or if you have a case for your dust mask, it needs to be put away. Also, especially if you have a rubber dust mask, or one of those half masks, you need to clean inside and out, because otherwise you're still going to be breathing that stuff. I turned a few things this weekend, and one piece was, and I did not have a dust mask on because I was not sanding. I was just turning ribbons. And unfortunately, I grabbed a piece of pine and I thought that I'd get that to ribbon. No, that dusted on me. And from that, I sneezed for 3 days. And I also coughed for 3 days. So wear your dust mask, even if you don't think you're creating dust. Make sure it's a clean dust mask inside and out. And take care of ourselves and have a great week. But I do want to show you something that I did, since I said I was turning. I was doing jam chucks for ornaments and birdhouses and all that good stuff. And I saw this one YouTuber, and I don't know his name. I couldn't read it. So, but he had a great idea, and so I did it. Here's the 1-inch jam chuck. Okay. But instead of doing the dovetail, I put an insert in it so it automatically screws into the bottle stopper chuck. And I did that for every one. So that way, wood does move, but that metal chuck won't move. So I've made 3 of these so far. I'm going to make a few more. I need a 7/8 and a 5/8 yet, but yeah. And I really liked the idea, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Great idea.
So anyways, be safe this week. Make sure your masks are clean and that we absolutely use them. So thanks a lot. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Sue. All right, let's go across the pond and see what Wayne's got cracking.
Okay, I don't know if I've shown this one before or not. I made this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this is the Galaxy Bowl.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, babe.
Yeah, this was done with lacquer from Hampshire Sheen, the black lacquer from Hampshire Sheen, Joe Sonia's paints, and I don't know if you can just get the green stars in there. They were from Chameleon flakes from Emma Cook.
That's beautiful, Wayne.
Okay.
I mean,
Thank you.
I mean, just like looking out a porthole.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And tonight we are supposed to be getting lots and lots of meteors tonight. I think this is the last night of the meteors. With if you have a clear sky, you should be able to see them. So it lends itself a bit to that as well.
Yes, I heard.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Very good, Wayne.
Thank you.
Beautiful work.
Looks great.
All right. Let's staying over there on that side of the water. Where'd he go? There he is. Paul.
I saw him sneak in. There he is.
Evening. How you doing?
Evening, Paul.
Yeah, I've got a few of these to show you. Pepper Mills.
Oh, yeah, I saw that online.
That one's walnut. It's about 10 inches or so tall. And I've put the crush grind mechanisms in these. There's another one here. This one is Amazak. Similar sort of shape, but I did the top different on this one. And again, crush grind mechanism in that one. And got one more, this one, which is Bubenga.
Nice.
Very
I like
Those came out
Boogie.
lovely, Paul.
So I was just, I mean, I quite like sort of simple shapes, nothing too fussy. So that's what I was trying to do with the pepper mills, and I think it sort of worked with those. There was a fourth one, but I sold it last weekend, so that's the three I got left.
Well done.
I haven't made any of those for ages, but I got got busy and made quite a few, and yeah, that was some of them.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Chief Morgan.
Yeah.
Dennis.
Well, I learned something about gluing some things up, but some people wanted some yarn bowls, so I turned a couple yarn bowls.
There you
Had
go.
some pieces to glue up.
Very nice.
I'm getting a shadow. I don't know why.
That's pretty.
So that's one.
How many segments per ring?
Well, there's three on this one. I don't know why I'm getting a shadow like that. Three there, and there's multiple. There's 6 on the other, and then 4 on the top. So it's all glued together. Like I said, I had a ton of pieces, and I just wanted to glue them together and see how it came out. So there's maple, cherry. That's that one. And this one's solid cherry. This one's glued up two pieces of cherry, or 3 pieces of cherry.
Cool. How'd you cut your groove in?
I get some copper wire. I just go ahead and make a little indentation and then burn it in.
Right. How about the where the yarn's going to go at?
I cut it with a coping saw. Cut it out. I drill
Okay.
the hole and then cut it out with a coping saw. Then use a fine file and then sanded it real well, so there's no
Yeah.
burrs, so that the yarn doesn't catch. And then
Well done.
my wife wanted she wanted a little candlestick holder, so this is ash, and she didn't want it white, so I stained it ebony. And pretty. I'm getting there with that. And she wanted a little tiny flower holder, so
Out of ash too.
yeah, it's the same, and then I stained it. I had 2 pieces out of 1 log, so that's
There you
what I
go.
did. That's what I did this week.
Yeah, good
Very
stuff.
nice.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to. Let's see. Leonard. There he is. Hey, Leonard.
How you doing? So I've only turned about, I don't know, 8 or 10 things so far. But I got my lathe from a woman who had it for 4 years and couldn't figure out how to use it and had never produced anything. So I decided I was actually going to send her a Christmas present. So I turned this vase. It's out of ash. There's lots of color to it. I did run into a couple of problems. One being that I do not have a drill bit that will go deep enough, nor a tool that will go deep enough. So it doesn't go very deep. It only goes down about that far. But with what I have, that's what I did. So
Very well.
I think she's going to be very happy with it.
I hope so. I think so.
Yeah.
Have you thought about what will fit inside of it if you want to put water in it?
No, I haven't. I have some test tubes that I use for my scroll saw blades, but they're too long. I can't go deep enough. So
Looks like it might be the size of a water bottle.
So
would that
again,
fit?
I do not have a very large opening in here. Again, without having larger bits, I couldn't get wide enough, and I had trouble doing that, and I had trouble going deep enough. So,
Right.
but for dried flowers or
better.
something like that, it'll work.
Sure.
That'll work too.
Good job, Leonard.
Thank you.
You are definitely progressing.
That's a beautiful piece.
All right. Let's see. I don't know what's up with the list tonight because nothing is in alphabetical on my side here. So bear with me, folks. I'm not digging this new update Zoom did.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Doug, you ready? Doug Miller?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
Got you now.
Good, good. Hey guys,
on.
it is good to see everybody, and I'm back in the shop and working on things. Had a little bit of a live demo yesterday, and first things first, got a spiral ribbon, a spiral ribbon finial, but it goes on a cherry lid. It came out quite nice, but all of that goes together on a candy dish. Tip it so you can see the back side. It's green. I dyed it green for Christmas, and of course the color change powder on there. You can see it's gold and green and purple and red. It's got all kinds of fun colors in it. So anyway, I did that yesterday in my live, and it came out. I thought it came out quite well. Thought I had a piece of pear for the bowl, but that's a piece of cherry as well as a cherry lid. It came out quite nice.
It looks great.
Very well.
Yeah. Very pretty, Doug. Very pretty.
That was
Thank
an
you.
excellent demo. If you guys want to go back and catch it.
That was a really great demo, Doug. Really.
Well, thank you all. Thank you.
Very enjoyable.
That's
So
it for me
Doug,
tonight. Yes, sir.
Doug, did you find your ring?
Did not. Did not.
Oh boy.
I suspect it's somewhere. Excuse me. Dane's asking about my wedding band. It came off while I was turning Saturday, and or I had it on. I had it in my pocket, not on. And so it apparently one time when I pulled my phone out of my pocket, the ring came out as well. I went through all the shavings that were on the floor, handful by handful, and it wasn't in the shavings. So apparently when it came off, it rolled out somewhere. I have not found it.
Don't dump your vacuum.
Well, like I said, I went through everything handful by handful. I didn't do it with the vacuum. I did it with a broom and a dustpan.
Oh.
And
Did you
one handful at a time went into the toss out bin, and so it's not there.
That's well, hopefully your wife is understanding.
She is. She is.
See, that's the reason why I don't wear rings in the shop. Most part, I don't wear rings, period, anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind wearing rings. I like wearing rings. I've got a big class ring that I wear on my right hand, but my left hand was strictly my wedding band, but it's gone for now. I will get one to replace it, either a regular gold band, or I will get I may get a silicone. I've talked about that a couple times, but anyway, it's gone for now.
All right. That's a bummer. Sorry about that.
It is. It's okay.
It'll turn up when you're not looking for it.
As soon as I get one to replace it, it'll show
Yep.
up.
That's what'll happen.
Right. All right. Let's go to Al Dawson if he'll turn his camera on. Al.
Hello. Hey. Hi. How's everybody? Hope
Gotcha.
everybody's doing good. Keith Hastings. I think just about every year, I have had an idea of Keith Hastings. I didn't make the apple yet, but here's the apple core.
Oh, nice.
I think
Nice
I
job.
think it was him. He did some inside out turning, and I don't know if you'll be able to see inside there, but he made a twig pot. I didn't make a twig pot, but But I mean, you guys all know about inside out turnings. But I thought it could come out nice. When I was getting to where you could see the flats, I said to myself, well, that makes it look even better.
Yeah, I like it.
You know, so I thought that was nice. It come out okay. Well, this was this afternoon's project, and I just shot a little bit of spray on. I see Elon Musk has nothing on me. He has nothing on me.
That's cute.
I shot a little bit of spray on. I didn't go and carve him out or anything yet, and I just put a little thing with a Sharpie, and I hit it with spray, and here it went and it ran. So it's not his face isn't supposed to look like that.
Yeah, you got hit by a meteorite.
I thought, you know, well, that's funny, crazy.
Did you draw that first?
No, it's on our website on our YouTube. Yeah, he has a picture of it. I just looked at it. I stopped. I had my wife camera, took a picture of it, and I just kept looking at it. I just Googled. I mean, I'm going to post this with his picture, and there's a lot more detail in Keith's than this. This is I played around just this afternoon with it, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, Keith made some cool stuff.
Now here's something that I've made a few of them now. This is from Alan Stratton, a double vase.
Very cool.
Wow.
Nice.
Cool.
Isn't that cool? I really like that.
You come up with some weird things.
It's all because of you guys.
I have one of those under my sink.
Yeah,
That's where I've seen that at.
It's a double base. I had some goofy things.
The flowers just make it perfect.
No,
there you go.
That's great.
Make a hell of a beer bong.
This was Alan Stratton. I saw this a few years ago. This was out maybe a third or fourth one. This is so simple, so simple. Now, Brenda, I'm challenging you that you have to make this.
Oh, no.
No, listen. This is how simple. This is how simple it is. Look down there.
Yep.
You see there's a seam. There's a seam, right?
Okay.
All I had was just a round slab. Just a round slab. And I put it on the lathe, and I hollowed out. Well, first I made it round, and then I hollowed it out, and I left the center. In other words, I left the center, and then when I was done hollowing it out, I think I have pictures. I'll put it on Facebook also. I hollowed out, I cut the thing right in half, and then you take the two halves, you put them together, and that's what created.
Yep.
It was like that. I put together.
Okay.
Okay, now next week.
No timeline. No timeline, Al. No timeline.
Right.
No, that's right, Cap. No time limit, but that's the challenge. It's so simple. I'll put a couple pictures on, and Alan Stratton. It's like a 10-minute video. Yeah, well, Alan Stratton, and it's called Double Vase. Just that simple, Double Vase. And well, you watch all kinds. Probably Alan's on right now. Alan, thanks. But anyway,
that's great. All right, thanks, Al. You got more?
No. Hey, thank you very much.
Save some for next week, right? That'll work. All right, thank you, buddy.
I have
Mr. Duxbury.
Nice stuff.
Okay. Well, I really like the thing that Bob Ginstead made. And the center finder, I'll show it here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I thought this was really neat. And in fact, I sent it to Bob. He's on here tonight, I think. Anyway, I made 4 of these for my son and my grandson, and for Christmas, I made a bunch of them. And one for my wife. This is the special one. It's all finished, but that's what the inside looks like.
Did a great job, Jim.
Thank you. Oh, I calibrated it too, which is worthless. Don't bother calibrating it.
That was a good video. That was a good video. And I liked that too when he showed that.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah,
That looked really good, Jim.
I think I've shown this before. I always wanted a 20-inch sander, so I made this to fit my Powermatic. But this is the back of it. This is the front of it.
Wow.
Let's see. Joaquin, start talking for me. Benson.
All right, I'm over here. Yeah. Can you
I'm getting you.
Yeah.
The name list is not alphabetical after this Zoom update, and so anyway.
All right. Let's see. I've mostly been making Christmas gifts. Got a bunch of them not finished, and what I have here. I did do. Somebody gets this little elm bow. I mean, ash bow.
Pretty.
That's pretty.
That's pretty.
And then I've got some big nephews. They like to barbecue a lot, so I made some of these pigtail meat flippers. This is a large one, and knowing them, they might have to flip a 10-pound brisket. So I ended up putting a 3/4-inch copper coupling on the end for strength, and drilled a hole in it. And so
Nice.
maybe it'll hold up to what they're doing. I got 2 of them that barbecue a lot, and made 2 of these. And last week, the Tiny Turner, she was doing those glass globes, and she was doing Christmas tree ornament. Well, Kelly had watched that, and I'd watched it, and he come up with this snowman, and he put it on Facebook, and I just had to do one of them. I got a niece that just loves snowmen, and so this is I hadn't got his nose or face on here yet. That's
Beautiful.
Oh,
that's cool.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Hey, is yours battery operated?
Yes, it is.
That's good.
It's got 2 batteries, and what I did, I put it in the bottom and put Velcro on it so I can pull it out, change the batteries, work with it, turn it on and off, and then put it back in. The Velcro is going to hold it in.
Was that on Amazon, or where'd you find that one?
She was doing the ornaments, Tiny Turner.
Yeah.
Out of London.
Yeah, I watched her, but I thought hers was electric. I thought it plugged in.
But
no, she had the same thing, and she run this top of hers, and it was in the tree, But it was a Christmas tree ornament. It wasn't a snowman.
Oh, okay.
What wasn't it last week? Last week, Andrew showed that here. Did you see that?
Who, Andrew Hall?
Andrew, he's one of Wayne's friends from Scotland. He popped on last week, and he showed that.
Yeah, I just saw Kelly's.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. That's cool.
The lights were really blinding.
Yeah,
right.
but it looks good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Great job, Joaquin.
That's great, Joaquin.
Thank you. That's all I got tonight.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bet.
It's great.
All right. Let's see. Where's Roll Tide? Talk to me. Howard.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, keep talking till I can see you pop in
here. hear me now?
Yeah, I can
I'm
hear you.
over,
Hold on.
I'm over
I
here.
got
I
you.
got
I got you.
I got this vase.
Oh,
It's
my.
made out of red oak. In fact, it's a tree that I had to cut down back about a year ago, and so I made a vase out of it. And of course, this is the part where the roots came out, so it's basically upside down. It was like this with the roots coming out, so I just flipped it over and turned it like that.
Cool.
The the roots were not symmetrical, so this side I kept going down, and I could not get anything. So I turned a piece of oak burl and inserted that in there to cover the hole. And so anyway, and the finial is ebony, and
Wow.
I used to do this a whole lot, so putting one on top of the other one, and so
like
kind of hold it in there. So anyway, I guess that's lots of work for nothing, not even be able to see it. But anyway, that's the way it goes. So
That's
They're
very funny,
interchangeable.
Howard.
Are they interchangeable?
Great.
Do what?
Looks great.
Howard, are you able to flip it around and have the other side up as well? Like an interchangeable. I'm tired of looking at it this way. I'll look at it this way.
Well, I made the onion too big, so it won't go
Oh, okay. I see.
in there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I made that one first, and then I said, well, I'll make a smaller one to help hold it in.
Right.
So anyway,
That's
so
cool.
it'd be good if I thought of that. You know, I'm slow.
Next time, right? Yeah, I know, right?
On the next
Right.
one, I'll try to do that if I remember it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It'll look good, Howard.
well,
Great job, Howard.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Very nice.
Well done.
That's
All right.
really
Well,
cool.
it's that time of the program. We're going to go back to Captain Eddie. We're going to do a quick recap of things, and then we're going to go to our demonstration for the evening. How's that sound, Captain Eddie?
Sounds good. Boy, I really like that piece, Howard. That came out really cool. And I knew somebody would ask you to turn that thing upside down. Well, we're having a great time here tonight. We've seen a lot of stuff and talking to new members, and our inspiration program worked out just like we thought. And if you're just joining us, folks, this is not a mandatory thing. It's a way to Brenda and a few of the other members came up with an idea to get you involved in a club that's your wood turning club. That's right. This is your club. It's, you know, the rules, very few. You have to be nice. You have to be kind. And we want to see just wood turning. And your wood turning is important to us. So when you have things, bring them to us. We'll see a gallery with the no but guarantee. We've seen some beautiful items here tonight. We want to see your work. Now, if you're an active member of Worldwide Woodturners, and we are worldwide, you've seen a couple of folks from different countries tonight. We've got others out there. If you want to support our club and help us, these are the stickers we have for the club. Now, this is the only investment Worldwide Woodturners has at this time. That's right. We bought these stickers, and we sell them 10 stickers for a $5 payment. And all the information is on the front page of our newsletter, our website, the finest website in the entire world dealing with wood turning. This helps to spread word. You've seen them on the lathes for our demonstrators, and you'll see more of them. If you're interested, let us know, and we'll get them to you. We try to get them to members that attend symposiums and projects and things, and get a bundle to them so they can pass around and let people know that this is their wood turning club. Now, if you want to get your clothing decorated for Worldwide Woodturners, you want to get it screen printed. We have a program on our website where you get it screen printed. You provide the clothing, and we advise you on what to get, and then how to send it with the payment and how to get it back, etc. But then if you want to get it embroidered, one of our members had the embroidery program put together. That's free, and it's on our website. You see, we do what we want, and whatever it takes to spread the word of Worldwide Woodturners. We ask you to help us out. Talk about us in your club meetings. Bring us with you when you go to places. Talk to us. let us know what you like and what you don't like. That's right. Remember, we didn't get this way just as a whim. We got to where we are today because of our membership, and we're only here because of our membership. This was a whim, and it's working out, and we really love it. We do. We've talked to our safety director, our inspiration director, our inspiration leader, and others tonight. We're always looking for information dealing with woodturning. And I'm always looking for tips and tricks. In a couple of weeks, we will do another tips and tricks segment on a program. And that's where we want you to think about all those little oddball type things that you have in your shop. Earlier tonight, you saw Duxbury. Ducks had his little centering device out. Now I got one of those as a gift from Johnny Hughes a long time ago when he first got his laser engraver. He made one. I put my name on the side of it, and such. It was in my shop. I was looking at it. I remembered when I was a cabinet maker, you learned how to do center finders with a block of wood and a pencil, and this is a really cool idea.
Well, that was Bob Ginstead. I just copied it.
Yeah, you did. Okay. All right. Grinstead showed it to us in one of our projects last week before last. You see all that stuff right here because we want you to dig into the bottoms of the come up with all those little ideas you come with because we have new members. Tonight, as I tuned in early, and I wasn't the earliest, we had members talk about glue ups and putting blocks together and such, and the differences in woods. What happens when you glue up strange woods or just two pieces of large wood? What happens if you don't permit or allow for or anticipate the movement of wood? So those discussions continue on, and this continues on, and this meeting runs formally for 2 more hours at 9 p.m. Central Time. The formal meeting and terminates, but the BS continues on. And sometimes I watch it from my iPad when it's because there's some, I don't want to say strange, let's say unique things come up at that time. And folks who have been watching for a while, watching our demonstrations, our tips and tricks, they sit back and think, oh, I'd like to show them such and such. I'd really like to talk about how I did this. Oh, why did they do that? You've had those thoughts tonight. Share them with us, please. That's why we do this, just to get you to share it with us. Tonight we have a good demonstration for you, and we'll do more gallery following the demonstration. And remember, this demonstration is by a member. We don't pay for demonstrations. We have the best wood turners in the whole world that belong to this club, and we like to see what they come up with. But while they're doing their demonstration, it's theirs. We want you to take notes. And if you come up with questions, save them. After the demonstration, if you have a question, pop in here and ask. But, sometimes you're sitting there thinking, wow, why didn't he do that? Well, you didn't give him time yet. It's coming up. And sometimes for me, it kind of gets overwhelming because you know where they're going and you know how to get there, but you think they're taking a little bit of time. Well, we're not as quick as you are. So stick with us. We're going to get there tonight. Who's up on deck tonight, Dane?
Well, we've got Mr. Bird up for tonight. Billy, what you got in plan for us?
Oh, man, look at this. He's fuzzy already.
You guys are clutching at straws to get me to come in here. Anyway, but like Mr. Duxbury, first, I needed that looks dirty. I've been wanting a big sanding, 12-inch sander or better. And I wasn't about to go out and spend the money on one because I'm tight. And somewhere I found aluminum platen from an old sander, and I brought it home and took the the mandrel off of it and made my own. I tapped this with my Beal 1 1/4 by 8, and it just screws it on, and I've got a 12-inch sanding disc for my lathe. Works great. But that's not what I'm going to demo tonight. I also
Give it a sky.
I also finished my birdhouse that I did on my last demo. I'm not real pleased with the proportions. I wish this had come out a little bit wider, but it is what it is. But it's done. Now, for tonight, what I want to talk about is, let me get y'all so you can see better. Very often when we're turning something, well, I say we, very often when I'm turning something, I will get it about the shape that I want, about the size that I want, and I lose concentration or whatever, and I get a catch. Well, we all know when that happens, there's a couple of things you can do. One of them is keep turning and turn the catch out. But something else you can do is what I've been doing. I started making my own micarta about 20 years ago. And I had the thought to take that a little bit further, and I started making pens out of denim. And I don't mean gluing a piece of denim on a blank and casting it in clear resin. I mean wrapping the entire tube in denim and either resin or super glue. And those make some really pretty pens. Well, I thought if I can do that with a pen, I should be able to do something similar to embellish a bowl or to fix a flaw. So let's say you've got flaws in your piece, like this bug do here, or that knot that you don't like, or a split that otherwise mars the piece. You can embellish this piece with the technique that I'm going to show tonight. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my initial mark so I know where to stop. And I'm basically going to take out that knot and probably some of this. So we'll make my mark there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make me a channel in here, and then I'm going to fill it with fabric. Now, natural fabrics like cotton work best. Am I lagging, or is my audio
No,
good?
you're doing great.
Good. I got those. I got my gremlins fixed, I think.
Well, you haven't started turning yet, so keep your
Yeah,
fingers
well,
crossed.
that's true. So what we're going to do is basically come in here and cut a thin channel. I'm using the dull side. Well, they're both dull sides. They weren't. It doesn't have to be very deep. You can make it as deep as you want. We're going to keep that about a 1/16 of an inch. Is all you need. Now, if you really want to get creative, I can't concentrate and talk at the same time, I guess. If you really want to get creative, yeah, that's enough. You really want to get creative with something like this, you can waste a lot of material and go in a 1/4 of an inch and wrap it, and then when you turn the inside, you'll get it on inside and out. I don't do that very often because it's just not all that beneficial. Now, the flatter you can make this groove, the better. And of course, I'm always being interrupted. And it's not quite flat enough for my liking right there. And the reason I say you want to make it flat is so when you wrap your fabric around it, it doesn't bunch. Now, we've seen something similar to what I'm showing tonight from one of our members in the UK, that he wraps the fabric around his piece and bunches it up so that it gives it a really cool look.
Yep.
I don't do that. It's an interesting technique that he uses, and I want to try it. I just haven't done it yet. But this is pretty easy, and it gives you an interesting look as well. One of the things you want to keep in mind when you're doing something like this is when you're wrapping this around, remember this spins toward you, so you want to wrap the fabric away from you. That way, when you start turning it, you're turning the end piece, not with the end piece towards you. If you wrap it this way, you have a tendency to sometimes peel your fabric away, and that's not what you want. So first thing you have to do, you just lay it in there. Wow, look, I guess pretty good, didn't I? Now you can do this with either super glue or with resin or epoxy. I've used both. I like super glue, it's a little quicker. I'm gonna tack this down on the end with some thick. I may not have made my channel quite deep enough. Now, it helps to drop your glue on the floor. And you pretty much just saturate it. Now, the fabric I use, like I said, I prefer cotton, but natural fabrics work better. I say natural, meaning organic. Now, you will use a fair amount of CA doing this. So it's not for the faint of heart.
But
Do
that
you
smells
use
good.
resin on top of it, Billy?
I beg your pardon?
You use resin on that.
Oh, do I use resin on top of it? I don't. I could, but I don't. This is a 2-ounce bottle. I started with it about half full. So this is rough. This is going to take roughly an ounce of CA to get the effect that you want. And I'm not going to lay that down with my hands because I'm not that stupid. I've been stuck to pieces before. I don't like it. Actually, I've only used about a half an ounce, so that's not bad.
What viscosity are you using on that, Billy?
This is thin. You could use medium. I like the thin because it penetrates faster. Especially if you've got over a 1/16 of an inch of material, you want to use the thin. So I'm not going to turn this piece tonight. I like to let this sit for a little while. But through the magic of video, I have one ready.
It even changes color.
Face shield back on. And I didn't turn my dust collector on, but typically when I'm applying the CA, I'll have my dust collector on, pulling the fumes away from me. And I have a fan sitting here behind me, back over there, that helps push the fumes away, because Me and CA, I'm not real CA tolerant when it comes to fumes.
Billy, you got to swap over to Parfix.
I get this for free.
I know you do. Well, I know.
I'm sponsored by Starbond, so
Yep,
I get to
I
do
hear you.
this. Parfix is too expensive for this kind of thing for me.
Yep.
You want to start off easy, light touch. Because like if you've ever turned any resin or epoxy or whatever, it can be a little chippy if you're not careful. And the same holds true for this. Now I've got this roughly shaped, but there's CA all over the place. So I'm just going to ease that off. And you saw what it looked like when I started. You just want to take it down until it's all nice and smooth. Well, see, I got some blowout. It wasn't easy enough. That or it was a wrinkle, because this was curved, and in a curved piece, it's more difficult to get the super glue down in the places where you need it so that it sticks well. But I have a fix.
He's abandoned us.
I just happen to have some more of this fabric. So what I'm going to do is cut some small pieces. And lose them. I got a better idea. I got a better idea. I've had small pieces break out before, but never anything quite that large. Only on Alive.
Yeah, never fails.
Nope. Always something.
You know, we could edit this out and make it look perfect,
Nah,
but then that wouldn't be life.
no,
don't
that
do
wouldn't be life.
That wouldn't be life.
This is like bonus content because it's a teachable moment here on how to do a repair.
Can we charge extra?
It also shows all the newbies we're not perfect. That's very true.
Well, I'm not going to leave that alone.
Come on now.
Here's the deal. If it can happen in your shop, folks.
It can.
It's called recovery. What's Tim Hatch call it? The recovery room?
Yep, recovery room. That's definitely a piece for it, Eddie.
We'll see if I can. Now, if you have just a little bit of a piece blow out like it did over here, and that happens regularly. Sorry about that. That's fixable easily enough by just adding some more CA. And that's why I brought the thick over here.
Well, Billy, I'm impressed. You're using what CA there?
Carbon.
But with stick fast, you can't spray the activator on when it's wet like that.
The what?
You can't spray activator on stick fast.
On stick fast?
Yeah, it'll sugar and mess up real bad.
And if you spray activator on the thin star bond, it has a tendency sometimes to snow up or bubble up.
Yeah.
But the medium is not as bad, and the thick doesn't hardly do it at all.
Okay.
We will have to. I keep bumping my face shield on the camera. We will have to wait a little bit for some of that to solidify underneath. Otherwise, I'll be wearing it. And this technique is not for everyone. Some are going to think, well, that just takes way too much time for me. I don't have that kind of patience or that kind of time, and that's fine. But I really like the look of what I end up with when it's all over.
Well, it's just giving me some new ideas with the coffee grounds and tea grounds and stuff.
Well, yeah, you can use that too. Nothing says you have to use cloth. And like I've said before too, I buy the cloth for pennies on the dollar. It's just remnants that I get at Joann's or Walmart or whoever sells fabric. I just look for the interesting, colorful stuff. I think I got most of them. This is going to be the test right here. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat just a little bit. And smooth those edges over some. Stand back out of the way in case it's slinging. Reminds me of a demo I did at Mid-Ohio, or yeah, no. Midwest Pin Turners gathering years ago. Where I was doing one of my denim pins, and I started the lathe spinning just a little bit too soon, and there was no plexiglass shield in front of me. And I spun super glue out onto the audience. That wasn't good.
Oh boy.
They forgave me, but I was a little embarrassed.
What if they stuck with you after that?
They did. Yeah, they stuck with me. I was very thankful.
They didn't have a choice. They had to stick with you with the super glue.
I was
I
waiting for
wonder how long
that.
it take them.
That was funny.
I thought it, I didn't say it.
I thought maybe Charlie would say it.
I thought it was Charlie that did.
Was it Charlie?
No, Eddie started.
No, I'm quiet.
Oh,
I think it
Charlie's
was Carl.
minding his own business. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was Carl. Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, it was me.
Guilty.
we got a few more minutes. Or seconds. Or something. Shield back on. The damage. You fix some and you make more.
Just an embellishment.
Yeah.
That'll buff out.
Yeah. I'm trying, I've got some depth to work with here, so I'm trying to work through some of them. And I might be able to do it. And the whole goal of this is to not do that. And to try to keep from losing as much of your diameter as you can. So much damage I caused. More to the wood than anything else. Of course. Throw a quick fresh edge on this gouge.
Yeah, I can see how important it is to get good penetration of that CA glue, so you don't have any unglued fabric.
Right. Now see if I can smooth that out and get rid of that hair out. Part of the problem is I now have CA built up on my tool rail. Everybody keeps a file at their lathe, right?
I'll be the first to say no.
Well, my high-tempered soul. Ah.
Patience, Billy, patience.
If at first you don't succeed, cry about it. No.
Always worked for me.
If at first you don't succeed, get a bigger hammer. That was the medium I just used. And you notice it didn't whiten up or bubble up either. I had really envisioned taking this to finish. On this demo, but I don't know that we're going to be able to do that.
You could probably have some fun with this using some braided materials that you get in the ribbon section or the decoration home deck section of a store like Joann's.
Billy, is it better to use a coarser material so it's a little thicker?
I really like using denim because it's thicker. Yes.
Yeah, then you don't turn it away so easy. You know,
Well,
like,
not only that, but with something like denim, you don't have the kind of blowouts with denim that you will with this. because it's thicker.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't cut through the material into the wood. Yeah.
Right. And you can get denim in multiple colors. I have
Yeah,
one of my prettiest pins with this technique was I started with a layer of blue, and about halfway around the wrap I started with red, and so I was alternating red and blue as I went. Actually, I had two strips, a red strip and a blue strip, and I got the blue started, went halfway around and started the red, and then layered them down together as I went, and that made a beautiful pin.
I bet it would look good if you went to one of these Goodwill or someplace like that and get some denim that's faded out and
Yes,
has different colors in it. Yeah.
I typically, when I wear out a pair of jeans, I keep them and cut them up just for that reason.
Mhm.
And I got the red from a pair of red jeans my wife had.
Does she know she's missing them?
Hush. No, she gave them to me. Now I used mostly medium then, so we'd have to wait a little bit longer before I try to thin that out. But this should get it, except for that tear out right there. Now let's see if it's going to make a liar out of me. Well, I'm giving that a chance to dry. I want to try to get rid of some of this tear out if I can. A little more up here. think I can live with that. I do. Dust collected going.
Single men sleep together. For the economy, of course.
Spent the bulk of my time with the coarseness grit that I use, and I will always do that whether I'm starting at 80, which I did in this case, or whether I start at 120 or even 240. I mean, you don't have to spend near as much time with the other grit. Sanding longer doesn't make it smoother, it makes it smaller. Somebody told me that once. Well, this isn't the prettiest one I've ever done. Throw some sanding sealer on that.
Looks incredible to me.
This is Mylan's. You can use whatever sanding sealer you like. Shellac, Mylan's. Whatever you find at the big box store.
That'd just be straight up sanding sealer, wouldn't it? Box store.
Yeah, I bought
Sensor.
the last batch I bought was water based, just because I wanted to try it and it was there. And it's all right for some things, but I'm not real fond of using it on my turnings, at least so far. That spalted hackberry is just gorgeous. And that's not too terrible bad. There's a couple of bad spots in it. But for the most part, it's not bad at all.
Looks good from here.
And
It's very nice from here.
Billy, if you were totally unhappy with it, couldn't you take that tool, remove it, and start again right there?
yes, if I was very displeased with it, I would I would sharpen my parting tool, and I would take this out and just refill it. One of the key things is now, had I wrapped this way with the tail ending over here and I started turning it, it would have unpeeled like crazy. Typically, the faster you turn something like this, the less chip out you're going to have. But tonight, that was not the case, and I'm not real sure why.
Hey, Billy, on those chip outs, couldn't you just cut another bead in there and then do wire burning or another inlay, different type, give you a different pattern if you want it?
You could do any number of things. You could say run a parting tool along this edge right here.
Yes,
and
sir.
take that out and lay a thinner layer of fabric of different colors, or of a different color in there, a contrasting color, like since this is purple, you could use a yellow or gold and on either side, and it would actually highlight and accent it. So yes, that is a possibility.
Cool.
That's good, Billy. It's a good technique.
But as you can see, it's very, very smooth. You can see if I could zoom in, I would, but you can see the fabric. It looks like it's all the same, but then you can see it's not, where it changes between the layers.
Yeah.
And that gives it a really cool look. And I can't wait to turn this one and see what it's going to look like because of all the colors in it. But I'll be turning that tomorrow and we'll see what it does.
Hey, Billy, would you get a better cut and more control if you put that between centers and used your skew, cutting from the top downhill?
Would I get better control if I used my skew going
No,
downhill?
yeah, well, not the controlling it, but the get a better cut.
I don't know. Possibly. In fact, I'm going to try something. I will keep working on this, and when I finish this piece, I'll put it on the. I'll send it to Cat Medi so he can put it up on the webpage.
No,
As
send
a
it.
quick,
No,
Send it
send
to
it
Dave.
to
To the send it to the editor.
Oh,
as
okay.
a quick recap, how deep did you say you tend to do it? About a 16th of an inch?
Say
I'm
again.
sorry. How deep did you say you usually cut it in, put the layers in? A 16th of an inch?
I typically go a 1/16 of an inch. I didn't quite get that deep on this one.
Just wanted to check because I like the idea and I'd like to try it. I wasn't sure how deep to go.
At least a 1/16. With that other one, I was closer to an 1/8, probably 3/16.
I was wondering, Billy, if that channel was a little deeper and that fabric and glue was sort of below the level of the wood, I wonder if you would have had a more protected cut as you went across there with maybe less chance of chip out. If that have you noticed that when you went deeper?
I have not. I usually I have always started with it above, just because when you're turning a pin, you start with it above. But when you're turning a pin, if you're using this on a pin on the brass tube, I usually had with denim at least a 1/4 of an inch of buildup already. So you're not going to have as many issues as you do using this thinner material. I did the wrong skew. All right, Dane, we're going to try skew going downhill.
There we go. Well, I don't want you to do it going uphill because you got the wrong kind of skew for that.
I know.
There's actually an upside down skew that you would use.
I'm being real ginger with this.
I don't blame you. As long as you keep that angle, straighten it up.
In the wood, it's gonna catch.
Hadn't planned on turning this one tonight, but I'm glad you talked me into it. I'll need to fix that, but that's no issue.
I think you're getting better results there.
I think you're right. I know I use this when I'm doing a pen.
Right.
Because that's what I always use.
Yep. As long as you keep that angle between 45 and 30 degrees, closer to 35 for me. It's shaving off nice.
It is.
Of course, you know I'm partial to the skews, so. It's not a can opener. It's not a paperweight.
No.
Fabulous tool.
New turners would say, why would you be partial to that?
Because you can't beat the cut. It's like a 5.5 jack plane on a nice piece of bird's eye maple. Can't beat it.
If you learn how to cut, you can do what? You can cut.
Amen.
That's pretty.
Can't wait for my boss to come in tonight and I can tell her I've been turning wood with fabric.
So the reason why I was saying between centers, Billy, is that way it'd get you away from the chuck there for reshaping, reprofiling if you had to on the bottom.
Say again, Dane?
So the reason why I was saying between centers was that it would allow you to get you away from the chuck.
Oh,
when you're,
yeah.
making that transition down. But no, that looks great.
Quite a bit of a red, John.
Yeah, it's got some good color in it.
Do what?
I said that's got some good color in it.
It does. I'll have to put a tenon over here on the inside and turn this around and fix the outside of the bottom, but but I think that'll look pretty good. You hit it with some sandpaper real quick.
Thank you, Heather.
I'm just gonna sand the fabric and hit it with a little sanding sealer so we can see what it looks like. Oh yeah.
Tog.
Oh yeah.
I like that color.
Slap some sanding sealer on there, pop that grain.
That's what I'm doing.
Ooh.
I'm glad I talked you into it, Billy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Both times.
Oh yeah.
That's what we do.
And with this one, because of the nature of the fabric, rather than having those same patterns throughout, like on the purple, with this one, because it was more of a scene and there's multiple colors and things going on, you can't really tell it, but there was a fabric change right there.
Yeah.
And you just, I mean, it's got a really cool look to it.
It looks great.
So that's just one way we can either embellish a turning like we did these, or like I say, you got a bad catch and you don't want to make the piece any smaller than you have to. Or you got a knot that you want to cover up, or you've got, now that knot that we covered up out here, we're still going to see it on the inside. But that's not necessarily a bad thing either.
Cool.
Anyway,
If you turned it super thin and put a light in there, then the fabric could give you like a lampshade effect.
Sure would.
yeah, it would indeed.
70s retro disco look. Now we're all dating ourselves.
You might be lighting a fire under some of these members.
Oh Lord. Good times.
This is interesting, Billy, because you just opened the door.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're our biggest confinement as wood turners, at least I find for me, our biggest confinement is our imagination. And so many things I've learned from other wood turners. Like I'll see somebody do something and I'll springboard with it. Or I will, whether like Jim Duxbury's duck chuck or any number of other things. I've got my head's full of stuff that I've seen that I want to try. I just have to remember, oh yeah, I wanted to try that. And that's part of the problem that I have is my old
Trying
man
to get
memory.
it out, trying to pull it out.
Yeah. But a little imagination can take you a long way. Well, what if I try this? Try it. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work.
Right.
What I
No
mean,
harm, no foul.
you lose. You might have lost an hour in the shop turning, but hey, that's the therapy for me. So, it's just play, try stuff.
You did it tonight. You heard David Rhodes. I'm wondering because I want to go try that. You got me thinking about products that you could do that with. And members, they're all sitting back thinking, well, he's using this material and that material, and can I use this material or that material? Billy just opened the door for you folks. All he did was open the door. He didn't tell you to go through it or what's the limitations. And really playing around with it, there are no limitations.
Hey, Eddie.
Guess what? You can put them on there. Limit yourself to what you want to limit yourself to. But until you try it, you'll never know if it didn't work.
That's right. Go ahead, Brenda.
I think
Hey, Billy, that
I
was
think
that
he
was
opened the
really
garage door.
Oh yeah.
That was really good. That was really good demo, Bill.
Thank you.
That really was.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Billy, on behalf of the club and of course, always on me personally, I really appreciate you coming through and doing a demo for us tonight. If anybody has any questions or comments, now's your chance to ask Billy if he hasn't answered them already. So open the floor for questions and comments real quick here.
I just would like to ask. I think Tom Kenny had one or said something to me, but I don't see what it was. And Todd asked the question I saw just fly by that said, do I have any finished ones to show? Unfortunately, Todd, I do not, because these things have a tendency to go out the door within a few days of me turning them. Just because they're different.
Right.
Billy,
on that. It's a good thing to have.
Billy, would you take a second and share your tool rest with us? Because I think that's absolutely awesome.
I got, let me show you two views. Start with this one. Okay, this is a 1-inch bar with a piece of angle iron welded to it at 90 degrees. Professional welder did this for me. He's also a wood turner. And I got it. I've got several. I've got this 6-inch and this 3-inch. And he made these for me because I wanted something small when I'm doing pins. And I wanted something a little smaller than the big, 10 or 12-inch that comes with the 3520B. And he had some, and I saw him using them. And I said, would you make me some of those? And he said, sure, no problem. He said, you'll just have to put your own wood in it. He had a piece of wood in his. And so I cut a piece of oak and I've got it screwed in on each end with some short square head screws. And it's pretty simple. I'm going to take this because it's mild steel. It is angle iron. I'm going to take some JB Weld. I've got some 1/4 inch stainless steel rod, and I'm going to cut it to length. This one I'm not going to change because I use when I'm doing board from a bow, I use my angle jigs that I made to fit this, and they got a magnet on the inside of them to hold it in place. So I've got my angle jigs for when I'm cutting bow from a board blanks, and I'll just set this up and cut it. And I don't want to modify this one because it fits. But this one I will modify, and I'm also going to modify the one that came with the Powermatic. And I'm going to JB Weld a piece of 1/4 inch stainless steel rod to the top because I get tired of square edge tools chewing this up.
Billy, can you explain the purpose for the wood?
Say again?
The purpose of the wood.
Oh, the purpose of the wood?
Yes.
Mainly aesthetic, but it does, because this is oak, it does apply a little bit of added strength, I think, to the angle iron. Not so much that you notice on this piece, but on this one, I think it would be noticeable. If you'll notice the welds on these two pieces, they're not the same. And that's because this one broke about 8 years ago, and I took it to a machine shop and had them weld it back up. So this one has a beefier bead around it. It's not the prettiest bead in the world, but it doesn't have to be.
Thank you, Billy. That's just a fun customization. I really like it. I appreciate you showing us that.
Yeah,
Not a
definitely
problem.
spot on.
Glad to help.
Hey, Billy, I like how you had some problems and you showed us how to fix them.
Thank you. It's part of what we deal with.
Yep.
I mean, you're never gonna have a perfect turning. Okay, some people might. You know, Lyle James.
Well, you know when you meet them.
People, but you run into problems.
Yep.
And you got to be able to think on your feet and come up with a solution to address it, or how do I want to fix it, or what do I do now?
Yeah, I like the way you did that because now it puts a lot of information out to people, try something, see if it works.
No, definitely at all levels, it's inspiring.
Yeah.
Speaking of inspiring, there's no other further questions for Billy on his demo. Let's swing back to Brenda for the inspiration program and see who our participants are going to be for the coming program. Brenda,
you're
highlight
right,
yourself?
Tim said the wood can also dampen the vibration, and that's very true. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I really do.
Thank you, Billy. And then I'm going to go do the insulin shot, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, we have had, or I've had very little response, but I do have one gentleman willing to give a project, and that is Robert Cox. If we can find What happened? Oh, if we can find Robert Cox. He's going to explain. There we go.
Here I am.
Robert, there he is. Robert is going to give us a project to do this week. And I've not found anybody to accept it yet. He's told me what he wants to have made, and it seems to be pretty simple. So if one of the new people would like to accept this, please come forward. Robert, can you tell us what you would like to see turned?
Yes. And I've seen this made a few times, and you know, no two ever resemble each other. So I always like to see what people do with the suggestion. But a small lidded vessel that has some kind of a crack or an occlusion in it that's been filled with something pretty other than turquoise, and maybe a finial on the top.
No turquoise.
The reason I suggested that is we've got some guys in the Alamo Woodturners Association that are really talented, and I've been collecting their work when I can find it, or win it in our weekly or monthly raffle. And my wife's curio cabinet is beginning to get a good collection from my fellow turners in San Antonio. So, but I'd like to see how other people from outside our area would tackle that project.
Great.
Okay.
Robert, could you give those details one more time? I was preoccupied. Sorry.
Yes, just a small lidded vessel with a finial on the top, and the one addition would be that it would have a crack or an occlusion of some kind that's been repaired and filled with something pretty that's not necessarily turquoise.
Right on. Right on. And when you say turquoise, you mean the normal, the blue stuff that you always
Yeah,
see.
the normal light blue stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Okay.
Well,
one of the things that's intrigued me, I've got twin 6-year-old granddaughters, and they left a kit when they were here last that had colored sand in it. And I was wondering about the possibility of taking some of their bright colored sand and mixing it with some epoxy and using it to fill a void and sanding it down to see how that would look. So maybe somebody will beat me to the punch.
All right. Well, like I said, I've not had any luck finding any new members.
Well, and it could be, it could be because they don't watch the chat. So, what was one of our names that we had?
Well, I was trying to get a hold of. Let me find him. Where'd he go? Just a second. He was on here a minute ago.
Moment, everybody's camera goes off. Everybody starts at 86.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Most of the new people, they're not even got their cameras on.
Run
and hide,
run and hide.
It's a simple
Hey,
project.
I know somebody. Possibly.
Right, who you got?
Peter Snowden.
Who?
Peter, would you be down to accept this inspiration project?
Unmute yourself. There he is.
No, I don't think I could do it.
No, okay. Right on. No worries.
A couple other people have said that they've got December pretty well booked.
Yeah.
So that could be a problem.
We don't have a time limit on it.
Yeah, there's no time limit. How about Victor Todd?
Victor? What say ye?
Highlight him. There we go.
How about this guy? What about this guy? Would he be interested?
That looks like trouble.
New?
Oh, him.
Victor. Victor, I got you now.
Hello, sir.
Unmute,
Would you be
unmute yourself.
interested in making a turn in like that?
Hit your space bar.
You're muted.
He's a newbie. That's good. That's all right. Okay, on your name, you highlight your name. It says mute or on mute. There you go.
Due to my schedule, I can't guarantee that I'd be around to get that done. So,
Oh, okay.
I'm just here tonight because I got home early from work. So,
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
No worries.
It was good to meet you.
Yeah.
Right? For sure.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the other guy that I'd seen earlier either. Oh, Joey Martin. And he's got his camera off.
Hello,
Hello? Who said hello?
Joey Martin.
Who?
Joey.
Joey. Huey.
Martin? Yeah.
H.
Hold on, we gotta find you.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Yeah,
We
we
can
just
hear
can't
it,
find
see
your
it,
name
it's
on the
just
list
trying
because they're
not-
not alphabetical order anymore. There he is. Joey,
Yes.
would you be willing to make a project for next week or the week after, whatever, that is a small lidded vessel with some kind of void in it filled with something pretty, but not turquoise, and a finial? Can you do that?
I can try. Probably not this week, but next week, or next week, but the next.
No time limit on it.
Okay. All right. All righty. We have our I keep wanting to say challenge, but it's not a challenge. It's
Participant. Just
our inspiration has been accepted by Joey Martin.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we will see you maybe next week. You can give us an update on how you're doing with it
I'll try.
and then show it the next week.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Howard
All
Ken.
right.
Help.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Back to you, Dane.
All right. We got you now. Thank you very much,
All
Joey,
right.
for taking this on, and the other gentleman for putting together the criteria for a vessel, a lidded vessel with a finial that has an inclusion in it that's going to be filled with something pretty that is not the light blue turquoise. So I am excited to see what that project is going to become.
Great.
So let's continue on with gallery. We're going to go back to Mr. Duxbury.
Okay.
For his video that he has. If I can find him.
Okay.
I have figured out how to use the search mode here, so that's good. We got you, Jim.
Okay. I hope I can do this. I thought I had this video stuff down. Let me know if this doesn't come through.
Okay.
Can you see it?
We can see it.
See a lathe with a sanding block.
Welcome to Jim's boardroom.
And you're moving. We got it, Jim.
Today I'm going to show my 20-inch disc sander. This is mounted on a Powermatic 3520A. It's got about a 6-inch cast iron faceplate, a 3/4 inch piece of MDF, and a 1/2 inch piece of MDF. All screwed and glued together. It works fabulous. If you ever do this, make sure you tighten at least one of the set screws in that faceplate under the shaft, because the inertia of this, if you're running it very fast, when you turn it off, can spin it off the lathe, and it's not nice. Ask me how I know that. There's many advantages to doing this. Number one, it doesn't take up floor space. I don't have that much floor space. Number two, this is about $3,000. This thing probably cost me $100. And the best part is it works better. The disc sander runs at 1720 RPM. That's fabulous for grinding metals and whatever. On wood, it generates too much heat. And you can do it, if you do it lightly, spritz it with water and that sort of thing, that works. But this thing now I found out, you don't even need a dust collector. If this was going 2000 RPM, I'd have dust all over the place. This is probably running at 200 RPM. You could do your fingernails on here. I put a mark on here 1/8 of an inch. This is a piece of 1.5 inch by 2 ash. Nice piece of wood. But instead of just standing on this thing, if you put some pressure on it, I've taken 1 inch or 1/8 of an inch off of here. Better than that, there's no dust. The dust is such big granulars, it falls down, it's all down here. There's a bunch of it. It works great. I love it. If it generates too much heat, you can spritz that with water and then sand some more to keep the disc nice and clean. And I think you really like it. Have a great one.
Great.
Good, Jim.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Jim.
Thank you. I don't know how I got out of it, but anyway. It really works. I love it. Especially on cherry and that sort of thing where you generate a lot of heat. You can put a lot of pressure on it and take some serious wood off real quick. Cost you nothing.
What'd you use for the backer?
MDF, the medium density, I think there's a 3/4 and a 1/2 inch disc put together. And then there's about a 6-inch faceplate, but it's a lot of weight and it comes out really nice and flat. You can buy 20-inch sanding discs. That was an 80 grit disc. I'll tell you, 60 or 40 grit disc just eats wood.
I bet.
It also does a job on your knuckles, so you gotta watch you get up too close. I'll tell you. But no, I love it. I just don't have the floor space anymore to have more equipment, so this fits in great. Make sure you tighten that doggone set screw, or at least one of them. And they're a real pain, but I'll tell you, when that thing comes off, the first time I used it, I was spinning it probably at 1500, and I shut the lathe off, and there was no tool rest or a rest in front of it, and that thing came off and run around the shop for 5 minutes. You just try to stay out of the way. Don't catch it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the bracket you had at the bottom, Jim, is that for sanding? Is that to help collect the sand, the dust?
Yeah, actually the dust collector is mounted behind there. If I was using it at high speed, I'd turn the dust collector on. But when I turn that on, I can't make a video. You can't hear yourself think, but it picks it up normal. But no, that thing really works. I love it.
Very good. Thanks for sharing that, Jim.
I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, I made one also.
Back in the 90s, at Mark Adams School, they had a 20-inch disc sander like that, and you were only allowed to run it, turn it on, and then you couldn't use it till you turned it off because of that inertia of the metal wheel they had on that. So if you got caught running it with power on, you got your wrist slapped.
How do you run it with power off?
The momentum of that big 20-inch wheel on that jet unit.
Oh, yeah.
It'd run for 10 minutes or more.
Not standing very much on it though.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
made one too if you'd like to see it.
Who's
We
that?
did?
Dan Smith.
Okay, hold on, Dan.
Sure, let's see it.
When TJ Maxx was in business, they were going out of business, and I stopped in there because they were selling their shelving and stuff. Well, I got this plastic shelving, and it's about a half-inch thick. And I ordered Chuck, and it came with the ring. Well, I tapped into this. There's 4 screws. I tapped and threaded them and bought some screws, cut them so they wouldn't pop through the other side. And I just put that on a 2-inch, lathe chuck. And this thing just works fabulous. And it's light. It's really light. So, and it's not going to spin off because, you open your chucks into the recess.
Right, but there's a possibility the chuck can spin off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, it's easy to tighten your chuck up on it, So,
Look good.
you ever see a store going out of business and they got these? I bought these for $2 a shelf, and I got 10 of them.
What's the diameter of that?
This right here is 14 inches.
Okay. Yeah, the
And
bigger they are, the cooler they run. And I'll tell you, it's a much different animal than a 12-inch.
Yep. Because this thing, it'll eat wood so fast it isn't funny.
No.
And I keep my RPM really low because I don't really see a need to crank it up. And because it eats the wood so fast. And I just use a fan with a filter on it to collect the dust. And most of it, like you said, is pretty big chunks, and it just drops straight down.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
that
good.
works
That's
great.
good, Dan. Thanks.
Yep.
Good, great idea.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Dan. All right, let's go to Todd Fitz here. He's got something to show for us. Got you, Todd.
Hello. So I have 3 bowls that I made. I'm getting ready to do Christmas gifts. So these are gifts 1, 2, and 3. So I've got this this maple bowl that had, I thought, really nice figuring on the inside that I liked a lot. That's just that's the Hampshire Sheen citrus oil burnishing oil on the inside there. And on the outside, I did another Hampshire Sheen intrinsic dyes colors there. It's sort of, it's red. It's supposed to be more like a St. Louis Cardinals gift for my sister that's a big St. Louis Cardinals fan. So so it's in red. So I have that one.
That was very pretty.
Oh, well, thank you.
Is that a red? Is that a red or an amber?
So I have
color-wise looks like an amber.
I have 3 colors on there. The intrinsic dyes, I have the flame, the ruby, and the burnt orange. You can see like what you're seeing with the amber is the burnt orange between the flame and the ruby out here. And so I spent a lot of time on this one, like trying to blend those to where they really weren't solid changes in color. And I did start with a black base that I sanded back almost all of it off of it. So, and then I've been doing a lot of texturing tool, the Sorby texturing tool stuff on the foot, but I'm going to be laser engraving my name, Christmas, year in the bottom of all three of these bowls that I'll show. This one, it's way more plain figure and stuff than the previous one, and this one is for my brother, cardinal red and blue, but I kept very crisp lines on this one, and this is the intrinsic I'm sorry, these are the carnival color Hampshire sheen on here. The red and the sky blue, I think, is what they are on that one. And then to totally break character, because I don't think I've shown anything here that didn't have Hampshire sheen dyes or stains on it, I have a bowl with no dyes or stains. So this is just a figured maple. And it's I sort of did sort of an emerging rim thing, I guess that's what it would be called, off of it. It was a design change. I messed up and then ended up having a rim I didn't like, and so I sort of changed into this look here. I'll say that the wood took me in a different direction, but the figure in this one is just fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Like
It's
fiddleback.
Yeah, right. It's just all the way. And when I picked that piece of wood up, I couldn't see this figure in it. It just wasn't there. And then I turned it, and I was just like, "Holy cow! I can't put stain over the top of that one."
Pretty, pretty.
So those are my three.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job. All right, let's see. Let's go with Terry. You out there, Terry?
Yeah, I'm here. Finally. No, I
got you.
I don't have a lot to show. I just was going to show a couple of things real quick. I don't remember what kind of wood this was. We had a meeting last weekend, and I got a wood and piece of it, and it come out pretty nice. It's green. I turned it all away, but this is out of the recovery room, or Plan B, whichever you want to call it. It came out pretty good, but this wasn't designed. I had designed it about 2 inches taller with a natural edge on it. It was all, and I thought I needed one more cut. I didn't need that last cut. So anyway, it came out, it's pretty nice wood. I can't remember what it was. I was going to ask Joaquin, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He told me, but my memory is not very good. It's really come out kind of, I like the shape, and I thought it come out kind of nice. It's about 5 inches in diameter, about 4 inches tall. And
Almost looks like
it's not finished.
Almost looks like a super-sized mazer cup. An old Viking drinking. It almost looks like an old Viking drinking vessel. What they call a mazer cup.
Yeah, it was just what I could salvage out of it. It had, when it broke to the top, it was all, and I just turned the lathe off and I said, I'll walk away for a little while and come back and think about it. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to cut that 2 inches off without killing myself, because it was all broke to pieces. So I kind of got the right tools and stood behind the lathe where nothing could hit me and come in from behind it. And it worked pretty good. It did fly, but it didn't hit me.
There. It's elm.
Yeah.
It's elm.
It's elm?
Yeah.
Okay. It came out pretty nice. I got one more piece I'm working on the lathe, but it came out pretty nice. And another, kind of get off topic a little bit, I was playing with the pine, and Safety Sue was talking, it bothered her. And I finally came to the conclusion that it was bothering me as well. But I've been having respiratory problems, and I think I got them under control, but I've been being real careful. I'm actually wearing an N95 underneath my power cap. I put the regular face mask on as soon as I walk in the shop, and I've been doing pretty good. I feel like I'm might be on the right way, but I think the pine was bothering me because I was turning quite a bit of it. And this is a piece made out of pine that I made for a centerpiece for a family gathering that I was unable to attend, so it's still here. But it's come out pretty nice for 2x4 stuff. But I'm not happy with turning 2x4s anymore. It's a 2x12. The bottom piece is about 11. I think it was 12, 11 and a half, 9 and a half, and 5 and a half.
Looks
It
good,
came out pretty
Harry.
nice for a little table piece. Just
Sure.
made out of all out of trash lumber out of the dumpsters. But it came out pretty
Decent
nice.
ham on that for the holidays.
Yeah, it was made for cookies and candies and stuff like that, but due to a unfortunate circumstance, I was unable to attend the gathering. So that's pretty much all I got. This has got one coat of wax tongue oil on it, and it hasn't been buffed out and cleaned up and run. I'm gonna put 3 or 4 more coats on it. I'll show it to you next week, see what it looks like.
Sounds good.
I kind of liked it. I thought that I'd like the shape.
Yeah, looks good.
So that's all I got.
Thanks, Terry. All right, let's go to Glenn next.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
Got you, Glenn. Turn your camera on.
Got me on now? Okay. Well, I have something to show. It's similar to what Billy was demonstrating today.
No, that's nice.
This is a piece of lace my grandmother used to crochet, and it's like looks kind of like lace, but she crocheted it, and this is probably it's probably at least 60, 70 years old. I have no idea how old it is. My sister had a bunch of it, and she wanted me to make some little I have some of the stuff. I'm wrapping it around, making like a crochet hook. I'm working on those, but this is just a lidded box. It's going to be I got 3 of them to make. But this, what I did when I made it, it's about 3-inch. It started out about 3-inch walnut, and I cut a groove. It's about 1 3/4 inches wide, and I made it about 1/4 inch deep per side. And that way, then I wrap the lace in there, and then kind of use a little bit of in spots. Use super or CA glue to hold it down, and then I got a piece of 3-inch PVC pipe and slid over it, and then hot glued it around it so it wouldn't leak out. And then I drilled a couple of holes in the PVC, and I poured my resin in it. And so that way it just, because it was laying down this way, and I poured the epoxy in there. That way it just ran all of it. Then I just, after it dried up, then I just cut it off. So it's probably about it's probably 1/4 inch thick or so, something. Probably not that much now, but
that looks great.
But it's just that lace with just some old stuff my grandmother had done. So
good way to preserve it and pass it on, Glenn. Great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I've got 2 more of these to make, and I have a couple of the crochet hooks. They're going to be about 3/4, 1 inch diameter. It may be a little big, but it's just something to have to preserve it, and that way it's going to be for my nieces and for my daughters. So that way they'll have something that was from their great.
How about your nephew? What about your nephew in Tucson?
I don't have a nephew in Tucson.
I'm right here.
I had a,
Talk to you
I had
every
a
week.
I had a
Uncle
brother that
Glenn,
used,
Uncle Glenn, from me,
Come
there's a
on,
man,
Glenn.
Uncle Glenn.
You do now.
I used to have a,
We go way back. I'd
I
love
used
to
to
have
have a
one of
brother
them.
that lived in Tucson for a while, back in the late '80s. But
Hey, you could inlay a dollar bill or something in that, couldn't you?
yeah, you could.
You could do all kind of stuff.
Yeah, you could put anything in there.
Wow, Duxbury's got extra dollars?
No, I was telling everybody else.
Oh, okay.
He's probably got the
Great
first
job on
dollar he
that.
ever made.
But that's all. That's all I got.
All right, thank you, sir.
You all.
All right, well, it's top of the hour almost. Let's go back to our matriarch here, patriarch, or the reason why we're all here, Captain Eddie.
No, you're the reason we're all here, folks. That's it. Thank you. Boy, we had an interesting evening. Tonight, we had Billy Burt out of Texas do a demo for us. Now, we've had demos go south since we got started, folks. That's why we use members to do our work, because it happens in your shop. And it happened in Billy's shop tonight. But guess what? He recovered. As Tim Hatch would say, he went to the recovery room. He didn't let that slow him down. He opened the door and he found a way to emphasize some of his work or disguise a flaw in the work or add to a piece of work. You just now saw another one that was added to with a family heirloom. And what a way to save a family heirloom. Add it to your turning, preserve it, put it out there for folks to see. Oh, it's not in a box under the dresser over there, such and such. It's right here. This is what Aunt Nan made, or whatever. This is what we learned here on Worldwide Woodturners, and this is what we do every week. We go deep into the cave, and we find out what people have and what they can explain, and what we can develop. Like we said during the Billy Burt demonstration, Billy only opened the door. He didn't show you the only way in. He didn't tell you what you could bring in and what you couldn't bring in. He just opened the door, and he opened the door to all of us, and we can take that and run with it. We're asking you to run along with us. So if you've got a project like that, we want to know about it. Just let us know. If you've got something that you'd like to share with the other members, and our members are worldwide, you've seen them all tonight, heard from most of them, or a lot of them, all you have to do is send us the information. If you've got photographs of your work, Billy said, I'm going to send it to, he's going to send it to me to use. No. We have a new newsletter coming out. Comes out on January 3rd. Got the date this time. Okay. Comes out on January 3rd. It's waiting for your photographs. It's waiting for your input. It's waiting for your editorial comments. It's waiting for our tips and tricks and ideas. It's waiting for the world's greatest congregation of woodturners ever to put a little bit more in the pot. Put a little bit more in the pot. That's why we're here, folks, is to share ideas and dreams. A dream comes true right here every Wednesday evening. It stays with us. So if you think you missed something tonight or you've heard us talk about something, it's all on that website. That's the only place you can find it. And we're the only folks that do that. So, and guess why? We're not married to the dollar. We're married to wood turning. And we're going to stay that way. If we can ever help you, you'll let us know. Drop us a note. You can write through the contact page. That gets to the people in the club. We don't have a hierarchy. Everybody gets what we need them to get. And it's not like we don't what.
How do we find that contact page?
Contact page, that's on the world's greatest woodturners website, worldwidewoodturners.org. Yeah, because we're an organization. Now, if you want us to be able to contact you personally, there's a way to get a members list. And that's on that same sheet. Fill it out exactly like it asks. Exactly like it asks. And the subject is Captain, Captain. And you can get the contact list. So that's where other wood turners have put their list, their names. And we're doing all this to be bot proof. So you don't get a million phone calls from a million companies looking to sell you a million pieces of garbage, or crap, or whatever ideas. We just want it to be about wood turning. And this comes about each week. And boy, we love to hear from you. And don't forget, if we miss you, we'll catch you next time. But don't miss the demos. Yeah, there's no hierarchy here. Everybody's like on the same level. Dane puts all these demos together for us. You contact Dane to get on a list, and get on a list is way back into the springtime right now. We put this thing together, and I can't wait to find out who's going to be up this week. And we fill in for each other in a heartbeat, because it happens that way in life. And this is just wood turning, folks. That's all this wood turning. We had a good time. We've seen a lot of you folks tonight. Let's see the old members around, and we hope to see you again before Christmas. If not, I hope you have a great holiday season. But above all else, main thing is be safe. We want you to get out of the shop and be safe. And before you leave tonight, save the chat, because there's a ton of good information on the chat. That's where all the secrets get put at. Yeah. I'm Captain Eddie Castle. I'm Captain Eddie Castle, WorldWarriorWoodturners.org. We'll see you here next Wednesday night. Remember, be safe.
That's right. The after hours are going to start here shortly, but before folks start signing off, I just want to, and I don't want to get into it or anything, but let's send our thoughts and prayers. Keep them going for Sue, Safety Sue, for Bob Moffett, aka Birdhouse Bob, and for Mark Soleil, and for Tom Kenny.
Those members are in need, folks. Good members, good folks, good word turners. Think about them.
Good point. Yeah.